something like scarlet fever, where you have a jab that lasts
much longer. أبو عضل تشرب قبل النادي لتر لترين عادي أو أنت مرة جاي وكلاس ما تشربين إلا في كريستال جلاس الصبح تبدأ في يومك أو بالليل عشان تتهنى في بالحالك ما معك رفيق أو دايم تشربه أنت صديق تحتاجين عشان تصيرين زي الأميرات ولا ماما تحتاج عشان كيك العزومات ولا أنت جوك عجيب أحد يتقهوى في الصالة ولا البقالة تاكله ولا تغميس من الجمعة لين الخميس ما يفرق كيف نشربه وين وليه المهم من جودته كلنا اتفقنا عليه حليب المراعي الفرق في اللي جوا.
I agree with him.
Yes, something for countries like New Zealand to think about possibly. We've spoken this evening to the Chinese ambassador to the UK, who's defended his nation's transparency. In your view, could China have done more?
Well, I think probably every country could have done more in hindsight. So it's difficult to criticize, but of course, some things could have been revealed even earlier, and there's still a lack of understanding of how many have actually had the infection in Wuhan, for instance. So there are missing pieces, but I think they've been pretty open.
Jan Albert, great to have you on. Thank you very much indeed, overseeing COVID-19 testing in Stockholm. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, care home managers in Scotland have told Sky News that the government's policy there of only testing people with symptoms is wrong. More than 3,000 people have now died in Scotland with COVID-19, and over half of those were in care homes. Sky's Scotland correspondent James Matthews reports on the care homes crisis.
To Tom and Amelia.
Tom and Amelia.
This was David Thorburn sending a wedding message to his granddaughter.
Lovely.
At 98, this family man had lived a rich and full life until he died last month of COVID-19 in a care home.
Testing would have made such a difference.
David's daughter, June, believes that had there been a policy of routine mass testing of care home staff and residents, her father could still be alive today.
It is, I think we described it like, they're all like sitting ducks, and it still feels like that unless there's a proper approach to wider testing for everyone who's in a care home.
In Scotland, there's only mass testing in a care home if there's a COVID outbreak. But Sky News has been given the test results from one provider, which show the value of testing those without symptoms. Of 233 asymptomatic residents at Renaissance Care, 25 tested positive, that's 11%. Of 146 staff without symptoms, 9 were positive, that's 6%. These figures are roughly consistent with a Cambridge University study of more than 1,000 staff without asymptomatic NHS staff. Positive. 3% of them tested positive. These figures are roughly consistent with a Cambridge University study of more than 1,000 staff with asymptomatic NHS staff. 3% of them tested. These figures are roughly consistent with a Cambridge University study of more than 1,000 staff with asymptomatic NHS staff. 3% of them tested. These figures are roughly consistent with a Cambridge University study of more than 1,000 staff with asymptomatic NHS staff. 3% of them tested. These figures are roughly consistent. Scotland's First Minister has argued that tests on people with no symptoms are unreliable.
In the spirit of constant review, will you revise or reassess your view that the testing of people without symptoms is unreliable?
One of the things that has been developing is our knowledge around the ability of people who are asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic to shed virus. So we are not stuck in positions here. We need to adapt as we learn more. So yes, we are testing more asymptomatic people. I suspect that will extend even further, but I think it's really important that we are frank about the relative reliability of the test in these different circumstances.
They don't have any cases of COVID at Glasgow's Abbey Court care home.
We're going to get green fingers.
Prevention here has been a success. They believe it would be helped by mass testing.
It's becoming more worrying now. I mean, 10 weeks ago, I think it was made relatively clear that testing would only be done in hospitals and everyone else was kind of in the background. But as the virus has spread throughout the communities, it's becoming more of a risk. the further down the road we go.
Here, where they're solely tested by COVID, the COVID test is what they want for all. James Matthews, Sky News, Glasgow.
Well, now to New Zealand, a country largely praised for its handling of the pandemic, has now lifted lockdown restrictions. Eager customers were queuing at midnight to get a haircut, and the Mayor of Queenstown marked the occasion with a bungee jump. Tom Cheshire reports on how New Zealand is lifting the lockdown.
Lockdowns have left millions of us shaggy-haired. For these New Zealanders, it's been a bad hair day that's lasted 7 weeks. So, when the country's lockdown ended at midnight, they were already queuing for a cut. As the clock struck 12, these Samsons could lose their locks, and New Zealand could enter the next stage of its coronavirus response.
We've got 7 barbers in Birkenhead, 13 hairdressing salons. She got the boys organised in 3 hours to open at 1 minute past 12, so we're going to be looking as sharp as Elvis when we turn up at work tomorrow.
Other businesses, including cafes, have also reopened their doors. New Zealand's lockdown came quickly, when the country had only 102 cases and no deaths. It has been especially strict and especially effective. The country has recorded just 21 COVID-19 deaths and has stopped the community spread of the virus, effectively eliminating it.
It's magic and great to just reconnect and actually be in a different environment. That's been the biggest bonus, I think. Good view, lovely day, so yeah, and just have someone else make a coffee for a change. It's fantastic.
That success means relieved-looking parents could take their children back to school, and weddings could go ahead. This couple, a British bride and a Swiss groom, were caught in lockdown on holiday. They decided to change their plans and marry here instead. Others, like this politician, celebrated the end of lockdown in their own way. A bid to drive up tourism. And a bungee jump is about as far as you can get from quarantine at home. This is not a return to normal, though, or even the new normal. Normal isn't coming back. Measures like social distancing are being enforced. And the country could reintroduce lockdowns in the future if COVID numbers rise. But easing the lockdown, letting people back into shops, means the economy can get firing again. And to that end, the government announced a record 50 billion New Zealand dollars budget, the equivalent of £25 billion.
We have been a government that, with the support and efforts of New Zealanders, took us through an enormous health challenge. And we will take the same approach to the recovery of our economy.
The wariness remains. But this is the most important thing right now. People who were apart for so long are again together. Tom Cheshire, Sky News.
To some other news now, and the Taliban says it